From MiddleEastEye.net, Israel-Palestine war. Jordanians try to storm Israeli embassy after Gaza hospital attack. We have this tweet. Low-Key Online. I'm not sure who Low-Key is. Hosts a podcast on Mint Press News. Says the Israeli embassy in Jordan is on fire. And this was posted 3:19 p.m. Today, so several hours ago. But this has been ongoing. I don't know if we have... we have this video here from the Post-Millennial that I'll play for you guys. Just a short video showing what appears to be thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people outside the U.S. and Israeli embassies. And of course, again, the reporting is that they've tried to storm the embassy. So look, man, I don't see how we get out of this without at least widespread war in the region, whether it involves us or not. I feel like
clearly is gonna. We are not just going to be dragged in. We're going to like jump in, which is what we seem to be doing.
Joe Biden's jumping in right now.
Will Lindsey Graham be on ground?
Lindsey Graham won't do anything.
Lindsey Graham. I've been calling him the Anthony Fauci of war.
Interesting.
Like that. He's got his whole deal. That guy is crazy.
I can understand if our interests are attacked and someone says we should defend our interests. Fine. I will argue we should not have interests in certain areas. And so my argument would be thus, we should not be involved for those reasons. If the president is attacked, it's a tough position. But for Lindsey Graham to come out and say, with or without evidence, the U.S. should bomb Iran is psychotic.
That is psychotic. Bombing Iran would be a totally wacky thing to do.
It's insane.
He
wants it. I mean, he's going to make... People will make money off of war, and he's probably one of those people.
He's like buying a bunch of stock in Raytheon and Lockheed Martin.
And I would point out, just to be clear, and some people might not remember or know this, but there are tens of thousands of Palestinians living in Jordan, in refugee camps now for the last several decades. So there is a huge Palestinian presence in Jordan. So perhaps,
and Jordan isn't accepting them into their society at large.
Correct.
Why are they not doing that?
Well, they don't in Lebanon either. They're also in refugee camps there.
Why is that?
Yeah,
why are they keeping these people in refugee camps?
It's an interesting thing.
Why are they doing that?
Well, one of the main reasons might be because of I don't know if, I think, is Hamas Sunni? Are they Sunni? Is that correct? Or
yes.
They're Shia?
Yeah,
no, they're Sunni.
Hamas is Sunni and Hezbollah is Shia.
That's right. Hezbollah is Shia. So that's what maybe the issue with, I was going to say that may have been the issue of them being Shia going to a Sunni country. But if they're both Sunni and they both have the same alignment, I don't know if Jordan is Shia or Sunni. I know that area is where
Jordan
it's
is
Shia in the
Sunni.
center and Sunni everywhere else.
Yeah,
they're Sunni.
Yeah, Jordan is Sunni and Hezbollah is Shia.
Right, that's correct.
Yep.
And that's what's interesting about Hezbollah and Hamas being friendly is because they're Sunni and Shia and they disagree with the fundamental facts about their religion. But that's what I was wondering if that was why the people from the West, or from Gaza were not being accepted. But that is. I don't really know anything else beyond that.
But obviously they have a common enemy. So
right, exactly.
think about Bashar al-Assad, right?
Yes,
so he is an Alawite, and Alawites are an offshoot of Shia Islam.
Right.
They're not in direct alignment, the Alawites with the Iranians, but the Iranians came in and supported them in that war, right? And so it's obviously... relationship of convenience, and I mean they have a common enemy.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of Christian sects going around fighting each other ever since the British worked their thing out with the Catholic Irish.
Yeah.
We don't see a lot of like interwar between Christian groups.
Yeah.
As an Irish Catholic, I don't know if that's completely worked out yet.
Well,
but,
it's working out better than it is.
Yes. No. It is working out a lot better.
I have been giving that some thought though. Like when you think about it, so here in the U.S., we've seen all of these groups start protesting in favor of Hamas, essentially, on college campuses and in Dearborn, Michigan, and in a lot of city centers. We've seen that in Times Square. You see people out with keffiyehs and whatever. And they're all being supported. In a lot of cases, these are people who are being supported by not-for-profits in the U.S. So you have not-for-profits like CARE. What is it? The CAIR?
CAIR.
Yeah, they're supporting this stuff. They probably have an IRS tax designation making them a charity so that they can be funded. And all I could think of when I start thinking about this and where's this money coming from in the U.S. to fuel the protesters in the U.S. who are backing Hamas is the Catholic churches in the 1980s in the U.S. that would collect donations to repair the roofs of the churches in Ireland, aka going to the IRA.
Rashida Tlaib has tweeted out apparently that Israel did bomb a Baptist hospital, killing 500 Palestinians, doctors, children, and patients, and then blames the president. Brian Krasenstein is criticizing her because it's not confirmed, but this is the point I was making. I mean, it's already out.
Well, she's a congresswoman, so she must be right.
She's a congresswoman.
Yeah. She has America's best interest at heart, I'm sure.
That's why she's got that Palestinian flag outside her office.
Right. And the LGBT.
She's got that one too.
Yeah. It's true. So now what's going to happen is the people who like her are going to say, it's true, she said so. That's it. End of story.
Yep. It doesn't matter what the truth is.
No, it's relative.
Terrifying.
And since you brought it up, the interesting thing, though, about Northern Ireland, and I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole on this, is that they did end up coming to, through the Good Friday agreements, some type of formal structure. Look, if the people of Northern Ireland now, through referendum, vote to rejoin the Republic of Ireland, that's what's going to happen, and the British government is going to recognize that. And they were able to come up with some type of political solution here. I have no idea. You're not going to get a political solution here.
No. It's not going to happen.
It's just not going to happen.
This is scary stuff, man. I mean, if you're just on Twitter right now, if you're on X, there's a lot of videos flying around that are unconfirmed that are going to lead us into very serious conflict. There's one post, not confirmed, that a crowd in Turkey is trying to break into a military base, a U.S. military base, and that they're saying the U.S. must respond and protect U.S. territory. I don't know if this is true. I see Majid Nawaz retweeted it from Jason J. Smart. No idea where the video came from, but people are going to start seeing these videos, and it doesn't matter if they get debunked later on. You know, people saw it. That's it. They're not going to look for the fact check.
And the scary thing is, Tim, is that you have like a congresswoman who is feeding this social media frenzy, who could, if she wanted to, go get some classified briefing and actually understand, probably much better than all of us, what's actually happening, but she has no interest in that. She wants to fuel the propaganda out there.
Blind support is better than support that has any knowledge of anything that's going on, because you can tell them exactly what you want them to know. You are the person who controls the information at that point. That's terrifying, man.
Yeah, and she's got her flags out there in front of her office. I'm sure Hamas is just waiting for the day to raise the Palestinian and LGBTQ flag.
It does seem weird that you have
plus. Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you say plus?
There's a plus at the end. It does seem weird that she is a sitting congresswoman who is going after one of our allies on Twitter. That seems bizarre.
Right.
Yeah, well, she's an anti-Semite.
She does hate Jews. She's like a classic Jew hater. That is true.
Yes. Yeah.
We have a number of them in Congress, it turns out.
Look, guys, the left would come out and say everyone on the right is fascist, and that is clearly false, because you can't call Dave Smith a Trump supporter because he's critical of Trump. But they tried doing it when he was on Fox Business, I think, with Kennedy, and they were like, you Trump supporters. Like, I don't support Trump. What are you talking about? But when you were looking specifically at Rashida Tlaib with the Palestinian flag, blaming Israel for something that's unconfirmed, and the involvement of the DSA, their support for like overt support for Hamas, yet we're not being cute when she says she's anti-Semitic. That's just like a confirmed statement of
yes.
No, it's just that's just a fact.
Yes. She is Rashida Tlaib.
So is Ilhan Omar.
Yes.
Now hold on. AOC called for precision and intelligence to deal with Hamas. I was actually kind of impressed. I was like, I don't know if I agree.
Precision and intelligence, not two words I usually associate with her.
AOC is getting a lot of flack for this because she's calling for a ceasefire, and I don't know why. It's like the hate against her right now is just pure tribalism.
Yeah.
Okay, a ceasefire. She's asked about it on CNN. She's like, this goes both ways. Hamas is firing rockets into Israel. We want it to stop. She's not saying Israel should just not respond to the attack. She's saying Hamas needs to stop too.
Right.
I can certainly understand Israel saying we're going after the military leaders. And then AOC's basic assessment, which again, she's getting ragged on for, was collective punishment is not good and may destabilize the region. Hamas must be dealt with, but we need military intelligence and precision. And I was like, AOC went on television and said that we should provide intelligence to surgically strike and assassinate or execute Hamas leaders. And she's getting ragged on by Republicans. I'm like, what is she supposed to say? Indiscriminately bomb hospitals? I don't understand. Like, she's giving what would probably be a typical Republican answer: military surgical strikes on Hamas leadership. and she's getting ragged on. I'm like, I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah, tribalism.
Right.
Sometimes she is right. Just recently, I agreed with her on her UFO assessment when she was like, basically, I think, or this is her saying it, we give billions of dollars to a lot of corporations with no oversight, and they're creating things that we might not know about.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I agree, AOC.
That's actually not too dumb.
I agree.
Yeah.
I tried writing a story about her, and then I think they Googled me. I reached out to her team, and they're like,
really?
never mind.
Well,
I was this close.
I'm wondering when the left is going to come after AOC for saying Hamas must be dealt with.
Yeah, she's out of the squad.
And she didn't literally say we need surgical strikes to remove leadership. She says Hamas must be dealt with. And then she's asked how, and she goes, perhaps with military intelligence or precision. And it's just like she's basically saying too many civilians are dying in the Israeli airstrikes. They need to be more precise in who they're targeting. And it's like,
fair.
That's more pro-military than I get.
Yeah,
right.
Coming from AOC.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the striking thing, though, through all of this, yes, we need to go after Hamas. They must be destroyed. We must go after the leadership. We can't have these types of attacks on Israel. Where's the Secretary of State dealing with Egypt to get these civilians out of there? I mean, has anybody seen the Secretary of State? I mean, I guess he's supposed to go over there.
Well, it's Blinken, right?
Yeah,
Blinken.
but I don't ever see.
He's been over there. He had a meeting. He had like an 8-hour meeting yesterday talking to people. If you go to the State Department, he's traveling to Israel, Jordan, Qatar, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Egypt. He's trying to get all this stuff sorted out. I don't agree with Blinken on pretty much anything.
No.
But that's where he is. He's over there, and he's the one who announced that Biden was going to be coming by.
But you know what I think is that they have dragged their feet on those types of relationships because Trump is the guy that did the Abraham Accords, right? And so
that was such a great idea, the Abraham Accords.
Yeah, and they have, I think, not wanted to solidify and strengthen that agreement that Trump, were he not Donald Trump, would have received the Nobel Peace Prize for doing something like that.
He was not. There were a couple of people nominated him, I recall.
Yeah. I mean, to be able to get Arab nations like that, to be able to recognize and normalize relations with the state of Israel is a huge accomplishment. And I think that they've dragged their feet on that accomplishment because they don't want it to be cemented in place. And now we're paying the price for that because I would imagine they've not kept up the pressure in terms of normalization of those interactions in between those two countries. The most notable thing I've seen Blinken do recently is like play guitar at the White House. I don't know if anybody saw that.
I missed that one entirely.
But yeah, he's actually not bad at guitar.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he as good at guitar as Lizzo was on James Madison's Screen?
I think he's better.
Really?
I mean,
Did he twerk?
No, but I think he's playing like jazz or blues. He's actually pretty good.
All right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. I think the Abraham Accords were so underreported. I remember talking to people about them who were like on the left, and they're like, "We never heard anything about that." And they're only watching CNN and NBC, but I'm like, they were obviously purposefully underreported. They couldn't give Trump anything.
No. And remember they said, "Oh, we're going to have war when Trump moves the embassy to Jerusalem. It's going to be, holy war."
It turned out okay.
Actually worked out. Aren't we glad we don't have the embassy in Tel Aviv right now?
Right.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.